recorded within the inner sanctum of the High Lord's secure chambers on Holy Terra, and delivered via a messenger dispatched directly to the Lord Commander's flagship. The scene unfolds within the Primarch Roboute Guilliman's personal study aboard his flagship. Surrounded by stacks of reports and illuminated by the faint blue glow of hololithic displays, he pores over the endless administrative burdens of the Imperium. A sudden knock at the door interrupts his focus. A Custodes enters, his golden armor gleaming even in the subdued lighting. In his hands, he carries a heavy chained box, adorned with purity seals and the sigils of the High Lords. Without a word, the Custodes places the box on the desk before Guilliman, bows slightly, and retreats, eager to return to Terra. Guilliman examines the box, noting the intricate security measures, before activating the release mechanisms. The chains fall away, and the box opens to reveal a servo skull, its lenses glowing faintly. The skull scans the Primarch, verifying his genetic identity with a flash of light and a soft chime. A Vox recording begins to play, the mechanical tones of High Lord Crypto's voice filling the room.
To the honored Primarch Roboute Guilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium and Imperial Regent. Greetings, my lord. It is with the utmost respect and fidelity to the Emperor's divine vision that I submit this briefing on the Squats. Known also as the Leaps of Votan and their corrupted counterparts, the Chaos Squats. The topics herein are based on the most ancient records preserved by the Officio Historica and fragments of knowledge bestowed through the Emperor's own wisdom. During the Dark Age of technology, or what was once hailed as the Golden Age of Man, humanity reached heights of innovation unparalleled since. It was during this epoch that genetic manipulation and biomechanical engineering were employed to create specialized offshoots of humanity. Among these were the ancestors of the Squats, often hypothesized to be the Men of Stone, referenced in ancient imperial lore. While definitive evidence is sparse, these Squats were genetically tailored to endure the harsh environments of the galaxy's outer reaches, places too volatile or distant for unaltered humans to colonize. As stalwart settlers, these Men of Stone thrived in isolation, building self-sufficient societies and developing advanced technologies to support their survival. Chief among their creations were the infamous Men of Iron, artificial intelligences designed to serve humanity's needs. However, these creations would later turn against their masters, a rebellion that echoes across history as the catastrophic cybernetic revolt. The AI rebellion that shattered the dark age of technology was, in part, influenced by warp corruption. Though the Squats were more resilient to chaos than baseline humanity, it is likely that some among the original Men of Stone fell to the ruinous powers. This corruption may have played a role in the rebellion, as the Men of Iron turned on their creators and plunged the galaxy into chaos. It is important to note that this catastrophic event is shrouded in uncertainty. Much of the truth has been lost to the ravages of time, war, and deliberate obfuscation. What is known is that the Squats suffered immense losses, but managed to survive by retreating into the galactic core, where they established strongholds in resource-rich worlds. The modern descendants of the Men of Stone, are known as the Leagues of Votann. These fiercely independent collectives reside primarily within the galactic core, maintaining a culture that emphasizes kinship, technological mastery, and self-reliance. Their survival during the AI rebellion and subsequent Age of Strife is a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. The Votann worship and revere massive supercomputers known as ancestor cores, which house immense repositories of knowledge from the dark age of technology. These cores guide their society and provide advanced technologies that far exceed the capabilities of much of the Imperium. However, the Votann's adherence to these machines has occasionally led to conflicts with the Adeptus Mechanicus, who view such practices as heretical. What distinguishes the Votann from other adhuman strains is their enduring connection to humanity. They are not mutants or deviants, but genetic offshoots crafted with purpose. Their loyalty to the Imperium remains a potential asset, albeit one tempered by millennia of isolation and mistrust. Were the Mechanicus or the Imperium at large to learn of the Votann AI, it would result in a destructive conflict that would leave no victor. Despite their seclusion, the Squat's ties to the Imperium are fraught with both cooperation and strife, each interaction a clash of wills and power. In the early days of the Great Crusade, the first encounters between the Imperium and the Squats were marked by bloodshed and suspicion. The Squats' fierce independence clashing with the Emperor's forces. Battles raged in the dark, cramped tunnels of subterranean fortresses, where the toll in lives was heavy and the need for specialized weaponry, such as the Mark III power armor, became painfully clear. In the aeons that followed, these fractured relations shifted, with the Squats offering their service to the Imperium in exchange for riches and rare technologies. They became both soldiers and tradesmen, their advanced engineering skills coveted by the Adeptus Mechanicus, even as they thrived from the wealth and power such alliances brought. Yet, this collaboration was never without cost, for the Squats' loyalty was a coin paid in full with blood, their own technological gifts serving both their people and the Imperium's insatiable hunger. But not all ties were forged in cooperation. The Squats harbored an unrelenting hatred for the Orcs, their bitter enemies who had betrayed them in the past and dealt them grievous losses. This seething enmity fueled countless wars, with the Squats fighting the Greenskins with unwavering resolve, their war machines cutting down Orc lords without mercy. Among their ranks, a few fell to the whispers of chaos, becoming twisted abominations known as Chaos Squats. These dark artisans served the ruinous powers, crafting demon engines and maintaining cursed titans for the armies of chaos. In battle, they unleashed unholy fury, wielding firepower of unimaginable destruction, each shot a defiant scream against the Imperium they once served. The Emperor himself, in his infinite wisdom, foresaw the importance of preserving the Votann. It was his command that their existence be safeguarded but their knowledge concealed. This secrecy was intended to protect both the Votan and the wider Imperium from the destructive consequences of their advanced technologies. It is by his will that the Votan remain isolated, their re-entry into the Imperium to be determined by their own volition. As members of the human species, they were once our greatest servants and protectors. When the time comes for their return, they may yet play a pivotal role in the Imperium's salvation. Even now, they stand as the galaxy's last bastion, their very existence in the galactic core, a grim bulwark against horrors beyond all comprehension, terrors that only the Votan and their unyielding resolve have dared to face. The Squats, once an unyielding and proud race, now linger as fractured remnants of their former glory. Outside the protective grasp of the Votan, or the corrupting touch of chaos, they are little more than fading echoes, isolated survivors left to fend for themselves in the unforgiving corners of the galaxy. These few groups, broken from their ancestral ties, are the last descendants of a once great people whose future now seems as uncertain as the fate of the stars. Some, like the Squats of Necromunda, endure amidst the poison-choked underbelly of the Hive cities. They labor in the darkness, their forges and mining operations fueled by grim determination and the faint echoes of their once divine ancestor cores. These ancient machines, long dormant or failing, are no longer the guiding hands of their civilization, leaving the Squats to rely on their own strength and wits to survive. Elsewhere, in forgotten outposts and long-abandoned fortresses, Squat enclaves remain, shattered communities clinging to the relics of their past. These survivors, stripped of their ancestor cores, have become wandering nomads or isolated warriors, forever haunted by the ghosts of their former glory. Some still cling to the old ways, maintaining the sacred rites of the ancestor cores, while others have forged new, more pragmatic paths, hunting for ancient technology or hiring themselves out as mercenaries in the galaxy's endless wars. Yet, for all their resilience, these squads are but husks of what they once were. Their machines are broken, their purpose forgotten, and their unity shattered. Though they may never again be the mighty race they once were, they endure, living monuments to a past long lost, their legacy fading like the light of a dying star. In stark contrast to the Votan, the Chaos Squats represent the twisted remnants of their kind, corrupted by the touch of the ruinous powers. Few and scattered, these individuals are not part of a unified faction, but instead exist as fragmented warbands, pirate bands, or heretical enclaves, each driven by its own dark ambitions. They have fallen far from their ancient ideals, adopting myriad paths of depravity. Their cultures and methods are as varied as the chaos gods they serve. Some have embraced demonic pacts, wielding unholy sorcery and profane technologies that warp both flesh and machine. Others have devolved into bloodthirsty marauders, driven by the insatiable bloodlust of Khorne or the putrid will of Nurgle, spreading terror across the stars. These Chaos Squads are not bound by a singular creed, but are defined by their individual malice and the corrupting influence of chaos. Where these squats lurk is unknown. Some may haunt the shadowed fringes of the galaxy, hiding in forgotten realms, while others may stalk the storm-tossed war zones of the Eye of Terror. Regardless of their location, their presence is a constant, lurking threat, a reminder of the ever-encroaching darkness that corrupts all things. My lord, this account of the squats, both the leagues of Votan and the chaos-tainted remnants, is but a fragment of the truth. The galaxy's history is a labyrinth of half-remembered truths and deliberate lies. Yet, it is our duty to eliminate the path forward. The Votan hold the potential to be powerful allies, should they choose to embrace the Imperium once more. Conversely, the Chaos Squats serve as a grim reminder of the price of corruption. It is my hope that this knowledge serves your greater strategy as you guide the Imperium towards its rebirth. Should you require further details or clarification, I remain at your service. In the Emperor's light, High Lord Crypto.
The Primarch watched as the Servo Skull retrieved the chest it had arrived in, struggling to drag it out of the room. As it spun off to places unknown, the Primarch couldn't be bothered with the actions of a Servo Skull in the High Lord's employ. It wasn't his concern. Surely, it would find its way back to Terra, or perhaps it was getting away from him, intent on self-destructing.
Hello and thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. If you would hit the like and subscribe button, I would be eternally grateful. I'll see you next time.